Everybody, welcome back to part 2 of my video about childbearing. I'm just going to answer questions in this video, but before I get started, and feel free to forward this part because I need to get it off my chest, I've had the longest day today, the absolute longest day today. I had an interview and I was anxious throughout the whole interview. I got hit on by someone before I went to that interview, and I feel like that's what caused me to be anxious the entire day because I hate being hit on in person. Like, I had a great feeling this morning. I woke up early, I, put some makeup on, put my contacts in, fucking everything was fucking great. I looked amazing. I was wearing a skirt with this shirt. It was brilliant. And then that happened, and then my day just descended from there. So I got hit on, and then I went into the interview, and it was 4 hours. It was like a group interview. We had to do a bunch of different tasks to show if we're capable or not. I constantly felt underprepared and underqualified, even though I've worked with children for almost 4 years now, almost 5 actually, and in my personal life even longer. I just felt so terrible today. On top of that, I didn't have lunch until like 2 o'clock when I do intermittent fasting, so I generally just start eating at 12 because I'm so fucking hungry. So I had 2 hours of just me being peckish the entire day. Sorry, for 2 hours. It just felt like the entire day. One of my contacts fucking started fritzing in my eye. I didn't have my glasses, couldn't take a break. So it was just in there until I got home, and it hurt like fucking hell. I'm going to lose it if I go blind in one eye because I do so much to take care of my eyes. Sorry, I know I just said the word eye like 100 times there. It's just been a really bad day. So if I'm coming off as frustrated or annoyed at any point in this video, that is why. I've just had a really long day, and I was not prepared to have a really long day. Oh, and I started my period, so that's fucking brilliant. So wonderful day. It's so hot outside. I hate it. And I know a lot of people are going to call me crazy for that, but I fucking hate hot weather. It's just been so long. I haven't been able to do anything productive today. I felt like I've wasted an entire half of my day, and I would like to just do this video, do some chores, and then study a little bit, and maybe take care of this fucking migraine I have going on. Maybe order in some food and chill out, because today's over. I'm ready for tomorrow. I'm fucking done. Like, can tomorrow be here already? Because I fucking hate this day. Also, my chair broke, which A, does not help with my self-esteem, and B, was fucking embarrassing because it was in front of everybody, and it was the worst. It was the fucking worst. I hate today. I want it to be over. Anyways, I'm gonna get to the questions. As you can see, I'm not exactly as upset as I was last night when I recorded the other video, and I did that on purpose because I wanted to answer these questions when I was in a better frame of mind. And while I am in a better frame of mind, that does not necessarily mean I'm in the best frame of mind, because I'm like kind of on the verge of being depressed, but I'm just more angry at the minute. But I'll be fine. It's a spell. It comes here every now and then it goes back. It's just one of those things. I will be fine. Please don't worry about me. I'll be okay. But now I would like to answer some of your questions about, well, I asked you to give me questions about childbearing, but some of them aren't about that. So the first one is from my girl Hope Springs 100. Please go and follow her on Twitter. Have you ever considered becoming a single mother via adoption? I have never considered becoming a single mother. If my siblings were given back to me in my care, I would do it. 100% I would do it. even if it would be a struggle, even if it would be maddeningly stressful, I would do it because I consider them my children, and I would do my best to look after them with as many, support systems that exist. It's something that in my heart I have committed myself to doing once the opportunity presents itself. In terms of whether or not I'd be a single mother in adoption, no, I would not opt to be a single mother except in the circumstance of, taking my siblings back and raising them. But I have considered adoption very frequently, as opposed to having natural born children from myself. That made no sense. Having my own children. I've considered adoption, because I feel like there are so many kids in this world who don't have families, who don't have loving families, and they deserve a home and they deserve a family. And instead of having my own kids, from my body, I would be doing a better service in giving children who don't have that, who don't have a family, where they can have a home and a room and a bed and toys and an education and maybe a pet. Knowing me, it's going to be a bunch of pets. I've considered adoption a lot. However, I would not want to do it alone. I would want to do it with a life partner. And my thought process with having children is that I 100% do not want to have children until I have found a suitable partner with whom I can have children. And not in the sense of like the mechanics of having a baby. That part's the easy part. I mean, if that person, be that a woman or a man, I haven't really figured out my sexuality. We'll work on that another day. But whether or not I co-parent with a mother or a father, I want a strong parent figure to help me raise this child. I do not want to do it alone, and I do not want to do it with a person who is an unsuitable parent. And that is not to say that I wouldn't date someone because they didn't want kids, or they weren't really the best idea of a parent. They weren't the best parent in the world. They weren't going to be. There's no way. Not everyone's cut out for it, to be honest. And I know a lot of people say, oh, anybody can have a kid. Yeah, anybody can have a kid, but raising a kid is a whole other thing. I would not want to have a child unless I have assurances that I have a partner and that partner is going to be a good parent. And that is my stance on having children, be that adopted or from me, my own children. The second question from Hope Springs 100 is, do you think life is empty if someone doesn't have kids, or if I forgot, I can't read my handwriting. Do you think life is empty if one doesn't have kids, as some say? No. Some people don't want kids. People need to get over that. Life is not all about kids. I had one of my exes, my only ex really, my ex kept sort of going back and forth about having kids. He would say that he didn't want any kids because he didn't want to bring up a kid who was as fucked up as him, which, is brilliantly positive. And also he would say that he didn't want kids because he didn't want his, family name to die out or whatever. It's stupid. But there is no pride in family name, in my opinion. There is, what has my family done that I'm proud of, that I want to continue that line of, what, it's arbitrary. It's arbitrary. Also, there are way too many humans on the planet already, so I don't think that your life is over because you don't have a kid. And even if you wanted a kid, and you can't physically have one, there are still other ways of having a child, through adoption, through surrogate pregnancies, surrogate mothers and stuff like that. People need to stop prioritizing having kids without prioritizing, am I ready to have a kid? Because it's such a huge commitment, and I hated it because I work with kids, I hate it when people take having a child for granted and taking their child for granted. And they don't, they're not ready to commit to having a child, and looking after that child and caring and loving and nurturing that child. Because that's basically my job, is to nurture other people's children. Not because they're all neglectful, but that is my job. So when I see a parent not nurturing their child, outside of school hours, it really upsets me. And I have a true value, for wanting to have a child. Because I've kind of already done it with my siblings. I had children and they've been taken away from me. And also because that is currently my life, is just looking after kids and maintaining kids. So yeah. From @tweet_twiggy, how do you push through to make a message as perfect as you can when you come up against a difficult obstacle? Be honest. It's got nothing to do with my video, but I feel like a lot of people try to push a narrative that they don't fully believe in, or they don't fully understand, and which is why it falls flat. Just be honest. If you don't understand something, research it and research it and research it until you get it, until you understand it, and you commit to it. As long as you are honest, people cannot fault you. And that's one of the reasons why I don't like talking about mainstream media or like really sciencey things. I'm not really good at science. It's not my strong suit subject. I'm better at creative things. And also, I don't want to present the wrong facts. It's one of my pet peeves when people get things wrong. So I really don't want to get anything wrong. And that's kind of why I have my opinions and I have my stories and I share those, because that's something that I can wholeheartedly be honest about. And when I do present something other than that, other than stories and opinions, and I'm commenting on, news media like I did when Rahaf left Saudi, it's for a reason, and I'm most of the time I'm quite late to that party because I don't want to prematurely comment on something before the facts are out, So that's how you make a message strong, is by sharing an honest approach to it. An honest approach. Like for me, I can't say that, I was oppressed by hijab, at least not for the first 10 years of me wearing it, because I believed in religion, I believed in Islam, and I wore it of my own volition. I chose to cover. I was the first one in my family to cover fully, cover my face, cover my entire body, and in many ways I don't regret that, because it was a learning curve for me. And I'll always tell people that I was never pushed to follow Islam, but I was pushed to stay in Islam. Because when I started practicing, I really wanted to practice. It was only when I wanted to leave that I wasn't allowed to leave. So just be honest, and the obstacles in front of you will deal with piece by piece, and they will be less stressful because you know in yourself that you have not half-heartedly done something or, made something up. But yeah, I hope I answered that question. I always felt like that question was kind of vague, but I hope I answered that question well. From @Lauralee Simons, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's spelled Siemens. Do you have a relationship with your younger siblings? I wish I did. If you watched my previous video, which this video is just an extension of, you'd know that I did have a relationship. I had a very deep, connected, motherly relationship with my siblings, and they were taken away from me, and I no longer have that relationship, and sometimes it really kills me. Like, I don't know how to deal with it. It kills me. And I wish I had a stronger relationship, And one of the reasons for even having a platform where I talk about things like this is because I want people in my family, I want my siblings, I want people to notice me, and I want my siblings to notice me and know that I'm still here regardless of how they feel about me, so that they have a route to contact me should they want help or rebuild connections or anything like that. That's pretty much my situation. And yeah, it's just a mess, honestly. Next question from Durin M. Do you want children nonetheless? I've kind of answered this above, but I don't know. I don't know if I want children. It's definitely not the most important thing to me, at least not now. I know I'm 24, I'm young and I'm stupid, and people are going to tell me when you're older you'll understand. But genuinely, I don't know if I want kids. There have been many points in my life where I have literally just wanted to rip it all out of me, and I just don't want the option because I don't want it. I don't want kids most of the time. I think about how my life was for my mother, her having, 6 children, her never having like a very close, intimate relationship with me as her daughter, and it just puts me off. And I see people who have kids, like my aunts and my uncles and people around me who've had kids but absolutely detest their children, and I never want to be like that. So if I were to have children, I want to be at least 90% sure that I want to have a child. And, there's all the other fears alongside that I stated in the other video, but I don't know if I want to have kids. Maybe I'll grow to a point later in life where I'm like, yeah, maybe I want a family. Maybe I want some kids. I've always thought that if I did have a kid, I'd probably only have one, because I never got to be like the only child, and I never got to have all the attention and all the love and all the support. And then other people are like, oh, but they won't grow up with siblings. And there's a part of me that wishes I never grew up with siblings, because I was always jealous of them. I was always jealous of my siblings. And because they got so much attention and they got all the new stuff, and I had to use all the hand-me-downs from my cousins. And, they got to go on field trips, and I had to stay at home all the time and look after them. And it's, I don't know. I'm just going off on a tangent now. I don't know if I would ever want to have kids. I know it will hit me when it hits me, but right now, no. And to be honest, I can't really see so far into the future where I would want to have kids. I don't know. It's not the most pressing question on my mind at the minute. So from Brandon Creek 63, he left me a comment which said, in life there are so many things we cannot control, and decisions that are out of our hands affect us often adversely. Embracing the choices that we get to make can be empowering. Having kids is complex, but ultimately it's personal, which I agree with, and I retweeted and shared so that you guys could see it. From @Lopez Spawn, aka, will you get married in a white, beautiful dress, just like every woman's dream? I don't think it's every woman's dream to get married in a white dress. People come from a lot of different cultures. Where I am from, women get married in red dresses, but I'm guessing that's not the point of the question. Do I value marriage? Not as much as a lot of people seem to think. I'm not opposed to getting married. I will get married to someone if I feel like that is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with. I will do it. I'm not opposed to it. But it's not something that, it's not something I value, at least not above commitment and love Like, if I'm in a relationship now, and I'm pretty sure Ed wants to get married someday. But if I were to come into a relationship, hypothetically, where my partner, didn't really think that marriage was that important and didn't want to get married, I would never get married. It doesn't matter to me. It's a party, and I love celebrations. I love, enjoying myself. But at the end of the day, that's all it really is. It's a celebration. I value strong commitment. I value open communication. I value healthy relationships. That is what I value. I have no, plans in the making for what my wedding should be and how it should be. Obviously, I'm a human being. I'm a girl. I have some, ideas that if I did get married, what would I want? But in terms of the bigger picture, if I ended up getting married in my 60s, it's no skin off my nose. It doesn't matter to me because I know it's just a party. But the second question is, will you invite your family and forget all the negativity they have caused? No, I would not invite my family, at least not all of my family. I would invite select members from my family who would actually be happy to see me go, to see me get married. I know that, there are spiteful members of my family that them even just seeing me brings out just the ugliest creature. So why would I invite that around my loved ones and my friends when I could just have a happy party, If there are relatives, amongst my family who would be happy to see me off, I'm more than happy to invite them. However, I'm not going to invite negative energy into a positive celebration. I've already, I'm 100% not inviting my father. My father, as far as I'm aware, is not my dad. My biological father is not my dad. He's not coming anywhere near my future husband and my hypothetical kids and grandkids. They are never going to meet their grandfather. And it's one of the most upsetting things in my brain, but it's still something that I am resolute in, that I will never forgive him for what he did to me, for what he did to my mother, for what he did to my entire family, and what he did to my siblings, because it's unforgivable. It is 100% unforgivable, and I have made the decision that I will not forgive him, nor will I have anything else to do with him. But different cousins, of course I'll invite them. My siblings, of course I'll invite them. Specific aunts and uncles, I will invite them. They probably won't have a huge hand in my wedding, but I would invite them because at least they'll be positive and they'll be happy and they'll celebrate rather than just, moan and complain and bicker as if I need more stress on my wedding day, So that is my stance. And the last question, which is not related to the video previous to this, is from @QueenNijma, and she asked me, how can you be a teacher but hate Muslims? You don't even deserve to be one. I deserve to be a teacher because I value children. Children are my priority in everything, even when honestly it makes no sense. I will give everything to a child because they are a child, and that is why I deserve to be an educator. I'm not a teacher. I deserve to be an educator, and I deserve to work with children. Secondly, I do not hate Muslims. Muslims are a part of my everyday life. I live in a multicultural city. If I hated Muslims, I would move to somewhere where there were no Muslims. I don't hate them. I don't. I have Muslim friends. I have Muslim family members who I still love and respect. I have Muslim co-workers whom I work with and I converse with regularly and who know and understand my stance on Islam. I have Muslim doctors who help me when I get sick. I have Muslim people in my life who have helped me, and I will never forget the help that they have given me. And I could never think of hating them. But what I do hate is bad people. And unfortunately, some bad people are Muslim. Not all Muslims are bad, but some bad people are Muslim. And I have disagreements with Islam because it is a bad religion. Now, you might not agree with that, but Islam is a set of ideas, and I am allowed to criticize a set of ideas, just as anyone is allowed to criticize any set of ideas, because it's a bad idea. I have spoken about Islam with Muslim people in my day-to-day life, from where I stand, from what my opinions are, and they have understood it the way I have conveyed it, in that Islam is a set of ideas, and I do not like some of the ideas that are in Islam, and I am allowed to criticize them. And my criticism of a religion that condones specific things that are against my moral compass should not make you or anyone else believe that I do not deserve to be an educator, because I have dedicated my life to the education, the protection, the well-being of children and young people. My entire life, that's what it's all been about. If there was ever, and maybe this is arrogant for me to say, but if there was ever someone who deserved to be an educator, it's me. It is what I do. So with that, I am gonna log off and I'm gonna chill out, maybe have some ice cream. Like, I know I'm supposed to be dieting, but honestly, I've just had the longest day. And I'm just gonna relax. I hope you enjoyed the videos. I know it's 2 videos in one day, really exciting, even though the last one was just 20 minutes of me crying. But I will see you probably on the weekend, where I plan to cook some stuff. But yeah, I will see you soon. I love you. Thank you for your love and support, and for being there when I say things, because sometimes I say things and I feel like they make no sense. Sometimes I'm criticized for the weirdest things. Like, someone called me a liar because of a dream I had, and he said that there was no way I could have possibly had that dream. And, thank you for just being there, for helping me laugh, and just letting me be, So, thank you for that, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.